I said, Joe will be back. Joe will be back. And he was confident that no.
And it was not done with any, I wasn't like mad about it. I said, Joe's too big. He doesn't need this now.
I listened to you coming in, and you said some other things about me, too.
Why you traded Monte Ellis?
You said you booed me.
Oh, yeah, right. Boo. Joe, no, I don't believe in booing. If I don't like something, I stay home. How the hell going to boo somebody? Hey, let's get down to and handle this story just for a couple minutes, and then we'll talk about the quote, the basketball. What is the deal, this latest thing with the Mission Bay project that just came out today, that there is opposition now?
Yeah, what day is today?
Today is a Wednesday.
29th of April.
Yeah. So let's see. On any given Wednesday, what percentage of people think it is Wednesday in San Francisco?
Yeah. Okay, so there you go. Yeah.
I mean, this is the question.
Yeah.
Look, there's always going to be opposition or somebody's self-interest that, doesn't agree with whatever decision I think anybody makes. I think we have overwhelming support. I think Chamber of Commerce was, 72% wanted to see the Warriors come to San Francisco. We've had nothing but great reactions from the community. We've met with UCSF, which is the subject of the article, I think. I read it
and the
quickly
deal
this
is, just
morning.
for the audience who doesn't know,
Yeah.
it's that the arena, the opposition saying it'd make accessibility difficult for the hospital.
Yeah, I think that's generally what it is. I think it's some supporters, some benefactors of the hospital that are probably behind this. We don't know. Not the hospital itself, because we've had a lot of discussions over many months now with them, trying to be good neighbors and trying to make sure that we do fit in the neighborhood and so on. And those conversations have gone well. In fact, if you read the article, that's what it says at the end of the article. But of course, you know how that goes. Yeah. That's at the end of the article. So we'll see what happens. We're going to continue to have conversations, and we'll do like we do everything. We'll do it right, and hopefully everyone will be really happy.
You know what
again.
is tough, though, to digest? Those of us who love sports, make our living from sports, enjoy what's going on so much, it's hard to fathom, but there are a section of people who just do not care about sports.
It's self-interest.
And they're going to fight things.
Everyone has their own self-interest, right? They have their own hobbies. They have their own things in life that they do, and I'm sure there are people that view Mission Bay as should be a certain way, and it's always been meant to be a certain way, and that's just the way it is. And look, I think most people, there's a lot of things that are going to go on here besides sports. This is a civic opportunity for this city that is, frankly, unprecedented. I'm not tooting our own horn here, but the truth is there's never been an arena project like this in the United States. It's completely privately
Well, and the crux
financed.
of this, too.
Over $1 billion.
We should point this out. I mean, the crux of their argument is, the arena is too close to the hospital, but you guys have done studies, and this is, what are those, like 18 or 20 different arenas around the country, not necessarily NBA arenas, but arenas around the country that are exactly the same proximity to the closest hospital.
It's a great point. And I think if I have the numbers right, I think it's 17 NBA teams have hospitals within a half a mile or something like that, whatever the number is, in the United States. 17. 37 or something within 3 miles. I could name hospital after hospital, or site, Brooklyn, the Staples Center in L.A., and I even heard of a nurse this morning who works at UCSF. I think I heard it somewhere, some show or something this morning, said that she can't wait to have the Warriors, next to the hospital. I don't think that's an issue. I mean, obviously some people might, but the city, I'm sure, will make sure that traffic works, and we're, security and all those things we're going to spend on. We're going to do this first rate, and we'll be great neighbors, and I think it'll work great with the hospital. I don't think it's an issue, and it's demonstrated over and over again throughout the country. It works all the time, everywhere, and I'm sure it'll work here.
Last thing on this, then we'll move on. Compared to your feelings on the waterfront project to feeling now about getting this done, is there any comparison there where, you feel better about this than you did about the other one?
Well, the only thing I don't feel great about is how expensive it is. I thought it wouldn't be as expensive as the water project. Turns out it's probably at least as much or more. Yeah. That's never good, but, we're committed to doing it. It turns out that, this is a tough time to build in San Francisco, obviously, because of the expense and all the cranes you see everywhere, and labor unions and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to get it done. I feel great about it. I think it's actually going to be a better project. Look what happens. You go through all this, and maybe at the end of the day, you come out with something even greater. I think people are going to love it. It's going to be in a neighborhood that's growing, where people want it there. It's got 4 sides. It's got roads. It's got public access. Transportation goes right to it. The BART system, which is connected to BART, the Muni system, which is connected to BART, which is connected to the new $1 billion underground subway, goes right to the door. I mean, you couldn't have a more perfect situation in terms of
And we're still
public
looking
transit.
for 17-18, the 17-18 season?
No, 18, fall of 18
19?
is our goal, 18-19. I'd hoped, at one point we could do it faster, but, I'm an optimist, and it's a lot of work, and we're going to try like hell to get it in, but, however long it takes, we're committed to doing it.
All right, here's a wild segue. Has Raymond Ritter totaled up how many times an hour you get your butt kissed and as you walk around the community? I mean, I bet you now, Ray, do you have a total on Joe?
Is there a Vegas over-under on butt kiss?
No, but everywhere you go now, I would imagine, the same people who you saw when you bought the team are now, Joey, I knew it. Joey, you're the king. I mean, go ahead. I mean, just the whole.
Look, we're winning. The main goal is we're a sports team. We're supposed to win championships, and we're trying to do that, and we're making good progress. We've had a phenomenal year. People clearly, I get noticed a lot more, and I get mostly smiles and positive stuff, actually pretty much all, and that's great. But I guess if we lose in this next round,
71-15 is
I'll
a
be the
pretty
jerk.
gaudy.
When's the last time you heard something
record.
negative? Because this has been it's just.
I tell you,
we talk about this all the time. That with all due respect to the 49ers and the Giants and everything, they're great. They've had great seasons in the past. But you got a group of guys too that maybe I say this too much, and I know sometimes Larry, goes, "Oh my God." But that's the type of guys you don't have to take a shower after you root for them. No, you know what I'm saying? You feel good about these guys. And when's the last time somebody said something negative to you about the Warriors?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a special year.
Yeah.
And, it's not due to me or Peter. It's due to the people like Raymond Ritter and Rick Welts. And I say this all the time. Sounds like I'm, just saying it. But the truth is we've got great people in this organization through and through, from Bob Myers, who I think should be executive of the year, to the guy who should have been the coach of the year, in my opinion, to players that are incredibly high character. And I'm just so impressed with all our people. I love going in there every single day. And we're proud of what we've accomplished. It's been a remarkable year. And, I don't want to get crazy about this, but I'll just tell you, I expect us to be this way for a long, long time. We will be a good team because we have the right pieces, and we have the right attitude, and we have the right commitment.
67-win regular season. I mean, in fact, we were talking before, biggest turnaround or biggest improvement for a 50-win franchise to jump from 51 wins to 67 wins. No franchise in the history of the NBA who won 50 games ever improved by 16 games the next year. And that being said, at the beginning of the playoffs, you stated for the public to hear, I'm nervous. Where did that nervousness come from? I mean,
nervous right now.
You're nervous right now?
Not for this interview with you guys.
Okay, thank you.
But I am nervous.
Gary makes people nervous.
That's all right.
No, I'm nervous because, there's a lot of pressure to succeed. People have expectations. I think that's a good thing, though. There's nothing wrong with that. And our players should have that edge and that nervousness, too, and want to come out there and fulfill what they think is, their destiny here. And I think we are the best team in the NBA, and I think we're going to prove it. But until we do, it doesn't mean anything. So it's 51, to your point, 51 to 67. I'm really proud of that. I think that's a really hard thing to do. And I give a lot of credit to Steve Kerr and our coaching staff. I mean, that is not an easy thing to do. That is really hard. It's good. It's not easy, but it's not as hard to go from, fairly good to good as it is to go from good to great. And we went from good to great, and that's pretty hard to do.
Yeah. I'm always curious about the individual. I'm curious about you in that, you've had money for a while. And money, no, you know what I'm saying. Hey, listen, self-made man. You've got everything you had, but you didn't have the public attention that you get now. How has your life changed? When you pretty much, I would imagine, most places around here in Northern California you go, somebody's going to recognize you, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there is that element of it.
You like it?
Honestly, I don't. I know it's part of the job. There's elements of it I like, and there's sometimes I don't like it.
But you're sitting courtside. You're right there. You like the camera on you a little bit.
It's not that I like the camera. It's just that, it's really fun to be courtside. It's probably the best ticket in sports, courtside at the Oracle. I mean, it's fantastic.
Is MC Hammer, do you give those to MC Hammer or he pays for them?
No, the last time he sat with me, it's a really funny
Every time
story.
I see MC Hammer, I wonder, where the hell he come up with that kind of money?
No, it's funny. Nicole, my fiance, was sick, I believe, that night. And the last time he sat with me. And it was a last-minute thing. And I walked in. I didn't have anybody to sit next to in the game. I could have picked anybody in the arena. Yeah. And I actually was thinking about going up. I literally was thinking about going up, pick a random fan.
Yeah.
But it turns out I saw MC Hammer walking along the sideline. I don't know if he had a seat or he didn't have a seat. I said, hey, what are you doing? You want to sit with me?
I'll
tell you-
he doesn't pay, does he, Ray? No. I mean, no.
There's a lot of people that probably don't pay.
But he was hot once upon. No, he's a fun guy, and he's a real
great
fan.
to sit with. He's fun.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the one thing I said to my kid. I took him to the Kings game earlier this year, and was driving home. He said, "Dad, that was really a special night. Klay Thompson just went for 37 and a quarter." I said, "You know what, Kev? You got to do something that Joe Lacob didn't get to do." And he's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "I don't think Joe was here tonight. I looked down. I didn't see Joe in his seats. You got to watch in person Klay go for 37 and make history. And I don't know that Joe did."
You're hurting me now. Now you're hurting me.
What was that like? Because you go to every game. You
I
go to
was
Summer League.
sick
You go to
as a
Santa
dog.
Cruz, and you
I was
missed that
sick
game.
as a dog that night, and I just could not. I'm telling you, laid up in bed, it was bad. And I had not missed a game all year. I usually miss maybe one a year, and I missed that game.
Wow.
I was so upset. I was so mad. Not to
But
be
you
at that
watch
game.
it on
Oh, of
TV,
course,
yeah.
of course.
What were you doing as you're watching that? Because you know the history of the NBA, and you kind of know that what you're watching there is pretty special.
It was incredible. I mean, in some ways, it was almost better watching TV, with our broadcast crew going crazy. And you actually, when you're at a game, you don't count how many points a guy's scored necessarily, right? You're talking to people, you're watching the game. On TV, they're keeping track for you. So he's got 18, he's got 22, he's got. And I'm like, in some ways, I kind of understood what was going on, maybe a little better. I don't know, but it was a great moment. There were a lot of great moments this year, though. This New Orleans trip I just was on, it was fantastic. I mean, one of the best road trips I've ever taken in the NBA. Obviously, we won those 2 games. It felt great, and we had a great time, had great food. It was a terrific trip.
All right, why don't we take a quick break? When we come back, we will negotiate Steph Curry's next contract with Joe, and we'll do it right on the air. And I will say, as Raymond Ritter's in the room, we just had Bill Plaskey, longtime columnist for the LA Times, on, and just out of the blue, he says, "Oh, you got Lacob on?" Yeah. He goes, "Well, say hello to Raymond Ritter. He is the best PR guy in the NBA." So I'm going to try not to kiss your butt, but I'll kiss Ray's. All right?